Perfect. Hello, everyone. My name is Aleksader Czapczyk. I'm head of sales in GreenWay infrastructure. And it is a pleasure to have this opportunity to meet you today and to be able to talk with you about the infrastructure and about basically what GreenWay does. And the issue is, of course, that thank you very much for the invitation. I was listening to carefully about the discussion that we had previously, and there was very nice conclusion about infrastructure, and I believe this is basically in electromobility, this is the issue whether we should have an impact on the distribution of the EV vehicles first, or the infrastructure should be ensured first. Yeah, this is the very important question. For us as the GreenWay, we decided to cover the infrastructure, and we are waiting for the right volumes of the EV vehicles to be able to meet our business requirements, of course. But let me just tell you a few words about who we are and what we do. Basically, as a GreenWay in Poland, and not only in Poland, because we work on Polish market, but as well as on Slovak. We have currently 370 charging stations, and we are planning to have over 600 stations until the end of 2022. That basically means that already the emission of CO2 offset is over 1,400,000 tons that basically haven't gone to the atmosphere thanks to using our charging station. Today, GreenWay offer three main business lines. The first one is, of course, the electric vehicle charging services, which is our core business, and our infrastructure is built over the Poland and Slovakia, ensuring the possibility to charge the cars for EV drivers. The second very important business line for us is charging station and related services, which is absolutely crucial for the market development. As I mentioned before, we have already 300 stations, so we pretty much know how to build and prepare the charging station for the public use. And this is the knowledge that we are sharing with the market and with our core target groups that we are cooperating with. Of course, the third business line for us is the business solution, and we are working with the companies about transferring to zero emission car fleet, which of course requires not only buying the right vehicles, but also preparing the infrastructure in terms of EV hubs somewhere near to headquarters or whatever, where the company car could be charged. If you are talking about the charging services and the EV cars itself, we should always remember that the structure of charging is completely different than comparing to the ordinary car. It means that basically up to 80% of the charging needs is secure in the home facilities during the night. So this is a completely different model. I saw on previous presentation that if someone uses EV vehicle in a closed range, it's fully possible not to visit any public station at all if you have the charging possibility at your place, and that's completely true. So basically, this change of perspective is very important. Of course, up to 20%, 10 to 20% of the infrastructure will be covered by the AC charging station, which means like semi-fast or slow charging in the city infrastructure, somewhere near to shops, restaurants, hotels, office buildings, and so on. And of course, there is this a little but very important part, which means basically up to 10% of ultra-fast charging station, DC charging station, which basically secures especially the needs which covers the traveling issue, going for holidays, highways, and so on. Yeah, so this is crucial from our perspective. And today in Poland we have already installed our ultra fast charger with 350 kV. So they are available already in our infrastructure in Poland. There are, of course, different types of the charging station. There are different needs for that. On the right side, you can see the DC charging station, which looks pretty much like the view that we are familiar from the gas station. Look pretty close to that. And the AC charging station on the left side, it looks, of course, they are much smaller and they are much just simply different approach. The black one is the classic charging station, the home charger that should be in every garage where the e-vehicle parks. The location of charging station is something that is very important as well, especially in the city infrastructure. Of course, there are different places of public usability that could be used to that and adapt for the needs of charging solution. Bus station, city halls, office buildings, shops, and different restaurants, hotels, and so on. This is also important that today it's equally important to cover outside as well as inside charging places. And the requirements for that are quite different because of communication possibilities, the internet access, and so on, especially when we are talking about underground parkings and so on. The location, as we mentioned, it should be easy access, 24 hours access as well. It should be free Wi-Fi. It should have possibility to have at least a coffee, because this charging station takes a little bit longer. Of course, the right facility regarding shopping, playgrounds for kids, toilets, whatsoever. These all places are very good for us to prepare a place for the charging station, especially when we are talking about AC charging station, which should be available in the city infrastructure, especially taking into account that we want to spend a little bit more time in I don't know, in the city or in the shop gallery or in the cinema and the restaurant whatsoever. Of course, in the highways, this is something that is absolutely crucial about time of charging, and to decrease it as much as it is possible. It's quite obvious. Key features of modern charging infrastructure, from our perspective, the only infrastructure that is public, the only way for doing this on the appropriate level of quality service and right, I would say, user experience, is to ensure that it would be fully online. There will be dedicated application for the needs of covering the infrastructure. There will be 24 hours, 7 days a week technical support, which is absolutely crucial, especially these days when we are entering in the phase of EV vehicles and the charging services, which are of course not very complicated, but at the beginning it could cause some issue for the users. Ability to pay by all available methods, by cell phone, of course, by cards, by different other ways of actually making the payments. It should be ongoing monitoring, of course, and the measuring the accessibility and I would say, the availability of the charging infrastructure, and of course the location, which can provide an easy access, security, and basically easy and comfortable experience for our EV drivers. As a GreenWay, of course, our core business are the charging services, but because of our experience, we are also delivering to the market our solution, which is basically based on the comprehensive service of construction and management of the charging station, which basically starts with the technical specification and electricity connection through the delivery of the charging station and installation of the station, and covering all the issues regarding station management, which, for example, in Poland are required by the law. So we meet this expectation today as a GreenWay, and we can fulfill that for our partners. For example, if someone wants to be the owner of the charging station, we could provide a CPO role, which means charging point operator, and we can ensure all the responsibility to cover all the responsibilities of this needs in behalf of the owner of the station. In the end, we have, of course, all the question related to data transmission to APA or to the government bodies responsible for monitoring the prices and the availability of the charging places. That it could be, of course, distributed to the software and to the EV users. That's a short brief of what we are covering in GreenWay, what we are doing, and what's for us is our goal in the electromobility and our inputs to this great project of making our water a bit cleaner and reducing the CO2 emission to the atmosphere. So basically, thank you very much for your time, and if you have any question, I'm here to answer you.
Alex, thank you very much for this very interesting presentation concerning the infrastructure, the charging infrastructure. Actually, we do have a question. It's from Marta. So Marta, I can ask you to unmute, and maybe you can answer it directly.
Yes, I would like. I have a question about the charging infrastructure, especially. Do you have any solutions, ideas for hiding the electric vehicle battery charging cables? Especially in the DC charging station, the cable is heavy and it doesn't look aesthetically pleasing in use.
Okay. This is an important issue, of course. We are not the producer, so we are not actually the manufacturer. So we have limited influence on that, of course. But this is something that we strongly collaborate with the providers of the hardware for us. Of course, the user experience is very important for us. And we do send our recommendation for the manufacturers. Of course, we don't have influence on that, what kind of, I would say, cables or charging station are covered or are produced in the end. But we take that under consideration. Of course, we have the conclusions from our user experience, and we do want to support our manufacturers with that. I believe there's two things that we should think about. The one is, of course, the friendly usage of the charging station and easy use and so on. But the second issue is, of course, the safety. And sometimes, and especially I believe these days, the safety is absolutely first, and sometimes it simply requires that it's not as smooth as it could look maybe in the future when the technology will grow.
Okay. Because I have heard about solutions that involve replacing the cable, for example, in the ceiling. then it would be ejected by the client. Especially I heard it during the most famous fair affairs, Energetap in Bielsko-Biała. Probably the company.
In the ceiling, of course, this is the solution that covers only indoor charging. Yeah, so simply. Of course, there are different scenario, and we are open to all of them. This is the requirements for some specific facility, and of course, we are open to this kind of the solution. But talking about our charging network, we're talking about over 300 charging stations, and we have to think a little bit more globally about the whole network once we implement some solution with the producer and for our network. So basically, we have those kinds of customized projects. But thinking globally about whole network, we do think about easy and friendly usage, but the safety comes first. So basically, we are waiting for improvement of that. But yeah, and we are open to of course every project. But thinking globally, it's difficult to implement on the large scale. Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you very much for your presentation. It was
Thank you very much, both Marta and Alex, for this interesting